Yeah. Live from Trump. Okay, ready for this one? Live from Trump's Tesla-like Board of Peace, where Trump has been designated chairman for life. 12% of the board is women. Yeah, that's right. Two directors are women. 2 out of like 17. And comes with its own Kimball Musk, R.E. Jared Kushner. It's an all-new wacky Wednesday edition of Business Pants, joined by analyst hole Matt Moscardi.
I'm excited for the SpaceX board.
On today's post-State of the Union cinnamon-flavored hangover called February 25th, 2026, The Good Game.
Oh, why do we open up The Good Game with Trump's Board of Peace? What was that?
Well, you know what I was thinking when I was analyzing that board is that it at least proves something anecdotally about the work we do here, which is beware of these bro-heavy boards that are heavily interconnected. So that he's doing it means that it must be wrong.
It can't be the right way. Yeah.
Right? So if anyone disagrees with anything we're doing, just look to that Board of Peace and know that he is copying corporate boards, which is why any investors with any bit of spine should start to target directors. That's all I'm saying.
They did, he already did this though on day 4 when he made himself the chair of the Kennedy Center, didn't he?
Yeah, he's done that.
He did that too. He's the chair of all the things that he wants to. And so few people care to go to the Kennedy Center anymore that they literally closed the Kennedy Center.
Shut it down.
They just shut it down and then pretended it was for renovations.
Yeah, and he created a Board of Peace while he's threatening Iran with a war. So,
well, you got to do what you got to do.
Our show today is being sponsored by Free Float Analytics and freefloatanalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power, connections, and performance for free. Now, I've teased this for a long time, but I know that the data update is getting closer and closer.
Okay, so I've seen the database, the guts of it, and on freefloatanalytics.com, they have 4 performance metrics for every director. They have carbon.
For free?
Yeah, for free. Carbon, they have TSR, they have earnings, and they have controversies, how many controversies the companies these directors sit on have had. I've seen the back end now. They added dividends, buybacks, CEO pay. They're adding things like water. They're adding things like pay ratio. I'm seeing carbon in 5 different ways, scope 1 and 2, raw carbon. They have so much data that isn't even on the free platform. I'm just excited to get access to that.
Okay.
That's it. That's all you got to say. Okay, about our sponsor. That's it.
I'm waiting for the. I want to see it.
That's true. It's coming. I've seen it.
I'm excited.
I've seen it.
No,
with my eyes.
I think it's great, but I want to see it live in action. You ready for? I tried hard. This, I should start a system where I record how long it takes me to construct a good game, because that means it's an inverse relationship to how bad the world is, right? Because this was a bit of a struggle. Sometimes it's easy for me. I tag roughly about 2,000 stories a month. Sometimes it's just I can pick them out, but this time I had to go one by one. I had to read I have them in a spreadsheet. I had to go one by one to make sure that I didn't miss anything good. It was tough. And I have the feeling that a lot of these are not going to be overly impressed
I'm going to change my approach today.
Oh.
My natural inclination is to be pessimistic about everything.
Are you on a new antidepressant?
No, I went to my primary care doc this morning just for a routine checkup.
And she told you to cheer the F up?
Routine checkup. And I found out that my blood pressure slightly elevated, having nothing to do with diet and exercise. I do all the right things.
I believe it. Having to do all these shows with you.
It's basically elevated because of my my negative attitude. That's what I'm convinced of. So today,
is that what the doctor said?
No, that's what potential clients say to Free Float. Today I'm coming at it I'm going to start from the place that everything is I can't go good. I'm going to say everything's okay. All right. So let's start with that.
Well, I wish I had better headlines for you. I shouldn't. You know what? I shouldn't.
You know what?
I shouldn't color it either way.
Yeah, the bar needs
do our
is
best.
where the bar is. I'm just gonna.
We're doing our best
let's do
because one thing this show is giving to our listeners is something that you really can't find in the media, which is an attempt to highlight things that might be a positive template for something, right? Because no media gives you that.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
I'm going for
so this
any
is not doom
positivity, any possible
All right,
way.
let's go.
All right, let's do it. Come on.
Let's start with the good, and then I have a nice fun one at the end. I'm going to end with the stupid. That'll be a little fun end there, the stupid. But then I'll start with the good headlines. I got some old-fashioned stuff in here, too, because I really had to dig deep. Google to build data center in Minnesota with new solar, wind power, and battery storage. It says that the tech company will also bring 1,900 megawatts of new renewable energy to the state. And I looked it up because I thought, like, is this, do we care? 1,900 megawatts enough to provide electricity for a city the size of Chicago.
Wow.
So I thought,
Okay.
do we give Google some credit here? I don't know.
We're going to give them a 9, and we're going to give them a 9 for two reasons.
Yeah,
Number one, renewables.
Because you want to keep your blood pressure
not
low. Yeah.
nuclear, right? Like you're building a data center.
Mm-hmm.
This is all about the AI thing. And guess what? Everyone's building like these data centers and they're sucking every piece of energy from like Bob's house, So your lights can't turn on because, Chat GPT needs to tell you which diaper to buy at Walmart. So no, this is great. Renewable energy, and they're building it into it. They've got an agreement with the utility. This is great use of that kind of energy. Number two, in Minnesota could use a break.
That's true. Yeah.
Double good. 9.
To your point, a nuclear factory provides the equivalent of roughly 1,000 megawatts. So this is two of those plants.
Nuclear.
So I mean,
And guess what?
Building
putting solar panels and like a wind farm up takes you like 20 minutes, not 10 years with nuclear material to secure.
It's also jobs. The next headline: the UK fines Reddit for not checking user ages aggressively enough. I'll give you a little bit of background here. I don't always give you background, but I want to be honest here. The fine is only $20 million. But they did make this statement. I know you're laughing, but they found that our investigation found that Reddit failed to apply any robust age assurance mechanism and therefore did not have a lawful basis for processing the personal information of children under the age of 13. These failures meant Reddit was using children's data unlawfully, potentially exposing them to inappropriate and harmful content. Now, the reason why I include this as good is that eventually, everything we do like this, eventually, is it creating a precedent to finally come after these companies? Because, I mean, listen to that. Children under the age of 13, Reddit is exposing them to inappropriate and harmful content. I mean, every time we do a little thing, maybe it's building to something bigger. I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic. So what do you think?
I love your hope. That's what I
look.
No, I'm going to stay positive. Look,
we got to keep at it.
What I know from back in the day when we worked at the mothership, we actually analyzed every fine handed out. We primarily focused on financials, right? But the vast majority, and by vast majority, I mean 98% or 99% of the monetary value of fines for corporations globally came from the U.S. Department of Justice or a different U.S. regulatory agency.
That's usually over for now.
That is totally over now.
Temporarily.
But the fact is, we would almost never see fines from other regulatory agencies. It's not the way they regulate.
Really?
There might be some lawsuits, there might be policies or legislation enacted, but it was rarely via fine that they regulated. The fact that the UK and France against Facebook and Meta and Zuckerberg and X, right? Isn't France investigating Musk and X?
Yes.
Australia is,
Yep.
Other countries are filling the void and saying, hey, if the U.S. isn't going to regulate you, then we will. And we will start applying fines, even though that's
This
not
is like
our
a new
practice.
Matt Mascari. I don't know who this Matt is.
I'm going to give this a
What's the
6.
score?
I'm going to give it a 6.
You know what? Also, I want to mention too is that maybe this is the start of deglobalizing social media and big tech, right? I mean, here's the thing. To your point, we have other jurisdictions across the world regulating this stuff, fining. Maybe they will break off from these companies. Maybe we don't have to have Instagram in every country. We don't have they can create their own platforms. So they can have competitors. It doesn't have to be a monopoly on social media. So I'm just saying, I think the world would be better off if we started to localize these kind of things. But all right, let's move forward.
See what I did there? I turned what would have been easily a cynical $19 million fine into a good.
Microsoft signs 1.8 million ton carbon removal deal to restore African rainforest. 1.8 million tons is the equivalent of taking approximately 430,000 gas-powered cars off the road for an entire year.
This one's harder to parse, in part because
230 average. That's the annual energy use of about 235,000 average American homes.
that's the headline number, right? Like that's the number they want you to know.
Well, that's what they're promising, right?
But
it hasn't happened.
But the way that they get to that is actually often, and I don't know the details of this because you're only reading the headline. I have no prior knowledge. I come to this show, and I'm supposed
this
to react
from
to the headline,
ESGtoday.com.
right? Often what they do is they will pay so that some rainforest does not get cut down, and they say that's our carbon
interesting
offset, right? It's an offset.
Okay. Well, I guess that's not the worst.
Which is basically the bare minimum you should do is not cut down the rainforest.
Yes, absolutely.
The thing you should be doing is growing new rainforests, using different forms of energy, protecting, large swaths of biodiversity along the way. Like, use less.
Agreed. But to Microsoft's credit, this is a template for good behavior, good corporate behavior, no?
I think a lot of
imagine if the entire S&P 500 did this.
Well, a lot of them did 7 years ago when it wasn't woke, right? So the devil in this one's in the details, and I'm just going to give it a 5 because I don't know what the details are.
All right, let's move on. Supreme Court strikes down Trump tariffs, rebuking president's signature economic policy.
Yeah.
Costco looking pretty smart, right?
The spineless found one vertebra with which to stop something that Trump has done.
I was actually pretty surprised. I'm sure most of us were, but I didn't think. I thought they were the reason why they were. I don't know why they didn't make this decision way back, but I thought they were slow rolling it so that by the time they got to it, they're like, "Oh, what are we going to do now? It's too complicated to say no now." But anyway, what do you think?
Well, what I think is that Costco was right.
Exactly.
Costco sued the Trump administration to recoup the cost that they were eating of tariffs. Costco passed down some of the costs, I'm sure, and they never tell you how much of the costs are to tariffs because nobody wanted to piss off Trump. But the reality is Costco sued the Trump administration. They joined a lawsuit to recoup tariffs, and they were right.
Before this announcement,
Now they actually have the right to recoup the tariffs. And Scott Bessent, that sycophantic moron, was out on Fox News 9 minutes after the tariffs were struck down, saying that this was corporate welfare. He said that, regardless of the fact that the corporations get money back they paid illegally, but we
so he's
paid
turning
it.
this. He's turning it into like a class war
He's trying
moment
to turn
for himself.
It into, yes.
Oh my God.
But the reality is that customers pay it.
Yeah.
It's customer welfare.
Of course.
It's normal people who paid for that shit.
Yeah.
And And Costco joined that lawsuit months ago, knowing that this was illegal, and we want.
That's one
refund.
of the reasons why Costco sued, because they were one of the few retailers that decided not to pass on the cost to their customers.
I love
they
it.
wanted the money back.
I love that.
Yeah.
What's your score? I'm gonna give this a 10. I know it's not like the end of tariffs. It's not the end of incredibly stupid economic policy. I'm not an economist, but all I know is that when I wake up and I read 7 different headlines in 7 different days about things that we're doing, that can't be good for anybody. But it's a start. It's a start of somebody doing something.
And let's
I could
go
say
right
it's
to this headline.
stupidity and give it a 5, but I'm going to give it a 10 because it made me happy.
Yeah, and let's stay with this one for one more, because one of the first companies to jump on the bandwagon was FedEx. I'm surprised it's FedEx. FedEx sues for refund of Trump tariffs days after Supreme Court ruling. Now, FedEx has Jack Smith, right?
Yeah.
Don't they have a long relationship of being like buddies with Trump? I was just surprised that FedEx was one of the first to jump out on this one. But what do you think about this?
I think after the Supreme Court's ruling, every company
they have cover.
Every company's going to do it.
I'm just surprised that FedEx was one of the first.
Basically,
but what do you think?
Like the Supreme Court ruling is just a message to every single massive manufacturer or company in this country to basically say, hey, I have my receipt, I'm returning it, I want my money back, right? Like that's all it is. They just said you can get your money back. And so every company, if you're saying that the company's role is to return value to shareholders, isn't the best way to return value to shareholders to get several $1 billion back from the US government that you paid them that was illegally forced on you? So I don't think that's anything. I'm going to give that a 5 because I don't like FedEx or Jack Smith, but
okay.
But it's
fair
expected.
Enough. All right, let's move on from the tariffs, giving it a 5. Our scorekeeper is noting that. Oh, here we go. A CEO actually, fighting Trump, I guess, speaking out against Trump. A co-CEO Ted Sarandos pushes back. It would have been great if it was Greg Peters, right? Because nobody cares.
Nobody
about Greg
knows
Peters.
who Greg Peters even.
Right? No one knows who he is. Ted Sarandos pushes back on Trump's call for Netflix to fire board member Susan Rice. So Trump, yet another right-wing ESG analyst jumping into the corporate governance world, trying to get rid of directors. Ted Sarandos said, this is a business deal, not a political deal. He also said he likes to do a lot of things on social media. So he's getting a little snarky there. And look, I know the old Matt would have rolled your eyes. The new Matt, I want the new Matt to consider that no CEO. I mean, do any CEOs have anything to say this strong anymore? I mean,
no. They only say the stuff this strong when they smell blood in the water or weakness, right? Like
that's true.
But
true.
here's my problem.
Go
Susan
ahead.
Rice is in the free float analytics database.
Absolutely.
She is incredibly overboarded, highly interconnected. She's one of those directors that has been around a long time. So apolitically, as an investor, Susan Rice probably shouldn't be on chummy boards anymore either. And not just Susan Rice.
We can
Susan
agree.
Rice,
We can agree with Trump.
Susan Rice is one person in a sea of chummy boards, right? Like, so let's not overstate like Susan Rice's problem. But politically, to have, and this is the same thing that keeps happening. Trump, the conservatives attack BlackRock as being too woke. And what do we have to do? Defend BlackRock. The conservatives attack ISS and Glass Lewis for, having a political ideology, even though they vote 99% with management. What do we have to do? Defend ISS and Glass Lewis. Now Trump is attacking an individual board member, a board member which the data suggests should have been voted out of chummy boards for years. And what do I have to do? I have to defend the chummy board member because of the reasons why we're focused on this are ludicrous. It's purely political. It's just ludicrous. So I don't like having to do this. So I'm going to give it a 5. That's the best I can do.
Now, I will push back on you a little bit because according to the data at Free Flow, So Susan Rice has only been on the board for 2 years.
This board, yeah.
This board, but she's not on any other public company boards as we speak. So she's not overboarded at the moment.
She's been on a number historically. I believe she was on either Boeing.
You're
or
allowed your
Susan
5.
Schwab was on Boeing, not Rice, but she's been on a few.
Let's move on. I mean, this seemed like my only home run of a story, but your optimism is proving me wrong this week. The headline is Farmer turns down $16 million offer from data center developers, saying it breaks my heart. The rest of every square inch is going to get built on. He's talking about all the farmers who are selling to the big data companies, building these data centers. So this is a man, Mervyn Raudabaugh from Pennsylvania. He was offered $16 million to sell his farm to a data center. And instead, he sold it to the Lancaster Farmland Trust for just under $2 million. Oh, come on. This is a stakeholder victory. Come on, right?
I mean, I'm going to give him...
What a good man.
I'm going to give him a 7 for having the name Mervyn.
Oh, just a 7.
Yeah, just a 7.
You don't care about this.
Look, I
mean, what's lost in the story, of course, is all the other farmers.
Yeah, everybody
who
else
are
sold,
selling,
right? Like, so we.
But I had to give this guy credit. I mean, come on. I mean, you just don't see this this is ungreedy.
I like that
He's 86 though, so he probably doesn't really
he's
need
not
the money
doing a
anymore.
lot of farming left, right? Like, I'm gonna give it a 7. It's a 7. That's the right number.
Oh, I thought it was a 10. All right, let's move on. I take umbrage at this. I find this insulting, but I'm still going to do it. This is from Business Insider. Revenge of the English majors. The age of AI is driving new respect for humanities skills. I mean, how dare they suggest that there wasn't respect for us humanities students? But I've been hearing this a lot. Like, AI is such a bullshit stream of nonsense that you actually are going to have to value people who are able to be creative, to analyze, to be critical, right?
Well, look, the thing that AI isn't is creative
or analytical.
I mean, no, AI can do an analysis, but it can't come up with an angle that has never been thought of before.
That's what I'm saying. It's doing an analysis based on
what's been done, right? Like, what it can do is synergize and synthesize lots of different analyses that humans can't understand the scope of. AI is really
but it can't contribute to the field.
Really good at scope, right? Like, it can go really wide when a person can't really
not
get
necessarily
outside themselves.
Accurate though, but yeah,
I didn't say accuracy, but it's really bad at creating. Like, adding to the scope, right? Like, it has what it has because humans have made it.
Isn't it amazing that, I'm thinking of like a random, no pun intended, publisher that puts out books, and they have things called copy editors, proofreaders, fact checkers, right? And they actually don't even pay them very well. And yet AI can't manage to like build in a robust fact checking, proofreading system that can do the very same thing. I don't understand why it's so difficult for them.
I know a few people who have written some books, and they said they tried using AI as basically fact check or even just proofreading.
Please don't. Please don't.
They tried it for just proofreading, and what they found was the AI would actually replace whole parts of their story. Like,
Interesting.
Somebody I know who wrote like a fiction book, right? Like, it's just
a narcissistic editor.
It's like the worst kind of editor, where it literally was like, I think what you meant to say was, and then replaced whole blocks of story. And they were like, no, like, I asked you just to edit proofread, like grammar and proofreading. And they would, even when doing that, they would like switch a word so that it actually meant the opposite thing, right? Like, it would decide things for you, having no context or knowledge.
Well,
it's the worst.
To add one little other tidbit to this, when you think of English majors and think of humanities skills, roughly almost 2/3 of people with humanities degrees, at least the data from 2022, are, of course, women.
Right. It's
so
the secret war on women
and these
is a war
AI
on humanities. Yeah.
these AI engines are built by bros and dudes, so it doesn't surprise me that instead of like taking the effort to fact check properly and proofread properly, they're just replacing chunks of text. They're just doing whatever they want to do.
It is the bro.
That's a very boy behavior. That's a middle school behavior.
The AI
right?
mansplains everything. Yeah.
Yes.
It's mansplaining.
All right. So what do you think about that one?
Well, I wish Alex Karp could read that. Didn't he say like humanities majors basically are going to be serfs or peasants or something like that? Isn't?
Yeah, and they shouldn't be going to college anyway.
He said that as a humanities major. Look, I don't know how I feel about this. This is first of all, I'm pro everyone creative. I don't care if
I always had. I don't know who's writing the headlines at Business Insider, but we have respect for humanities.
Yeah, I don't like so.
But anyway.
But in the age of AI, the implication here is the age of AI. You shouldn't be an English major. You shouldn't read or enjoy writing or any of that. That's dumb to me. I'm going to give this a 4. I don't like this.
Another corporate entity fighting back against Trump. Trump team livid about Dario I can never say his last name. Amodi's, and that's Anthropic, right?
Yeah.
Principled stand to keep the Defense Department from using his AI tools for warlike purposes. It's also probably a shrewd business move because I've seen a lot of headlines suggesting that this is really good for their brand to fight back against anything that Trump does, which always makes me wonder, where are the other CEOs realizing, I'm looking at Target especially, like, it actually might be a pretty smart move to fight 100%. Back against a fascist, angry, bully, racist, misogynist. I mean, you can stop me anytime.
Is there anything more free speechy than basically saying no thanks to the administration? Like, isn't that what they're like? I think that they're doing the correct thing, in as much as. Right. I subscribe to Claude as a result. Like,
there you go.
Although
did I not beg you for like several weeks that it would help you with your coding?
You did, and
you ignored me.
Unsubscribed from ChatGPT. Gemini comes with like other things that we buy from Google, so we just have that.
Right.
But
we're in that manosphere.
But I like this. I'm going to give this. I mean, am I celebrating that Trump's team is livid? I don't like.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm gonna give this a 7. I like that they're fighting back more than I like the way this headline is written.
New York Nurses Union wins 12% raise. AI safeguards in a tentative deal to end month-long strike.
What's an AI safeguard with a nurse?
Okay, but this is a big thing in the medical, especially in the medical informatics world, right? That's what they call it, informatics. Medical informatics.
Making up words now.
They're starting to. In fact, full disclosure, my doctor pulled out. I think he used his phone. He is subscribed to some AI service that takes our conversation and helps him with his note taking. But then we spent because I was super interested in it. We spent a long time at the end kind of analyzing how it did, and unfortunately, it did pretty well. But I'm still against it.
It's not that it does well or not. It's that, is that what we want?
No. I certainly don't want it. But I don't know about your practice. I'm part of a practice that I'm sure a lot of Americans are part of, where I love my doctor. Honestly, I do, which I can't believe I'm saying because I've had a lot of bad doctors. But this guy is so overworked. It's a factory of patients coming in and out that.
Well, look, I'll tell you.
I guess if anything helps them be a little bit more productive and spend a little bit more time with me, I'll take it. I don't know.
Well, the problem is what we expect of our doctors, not their tools and ability to do things. The doctors, and I know this because my wife is a doctor, are now basically like, when you go into, wasn't it Michael Fidelki, one of his first, Target's new CEO, one of his first things he said to like the Target staff was they had this thing where they were like, if you're within 6 feet of somebody, you should smile. When you're within 3 feet of somebody, you should say hello and smile. Right.
Like 6 feet. Yeah. Okay.
The basically, doctors are customer service reps now. They manage complaints. They try to, like, their job is as much to make you feel better about the service that you're getting as it is to actually fix you. But that tension has always been there. Like, nobody likes like a cold, indifferent doctor who fixes you, right?
In fact, I think there have been studies that, I mean, your attitude, the patient's attitude and emotional state, like a placebo effect, I think can improve like health outcomes. No?
Well, the reality is it's tipped way over where patients come in, they're angry, they expect everything to work perfectly.
Yeah, see, I don't understand that.
Like,
I've never been that person.
If you show up and your appointment is at 1:15 and it doesn't start until 1:17, my wife's staff gets screamed at. Like, why are we always late? Like that kind of thing.
This is the part of people I don't understand. I mean, I think everyone would agree that I'm a jerk. I'm an a-hole. We both are. Yeah. I'm cynical. I'm pessimistic.
Yeah. All correct.
I always treat these people with respect, no matter what happens. I mean, certainly, if they're really late, I get flustered. Like, I can get a little impatient, but I would never take it out on them. I don't even understand who these people are.
The number of times that it's the doctor or staff's fault that things are late. You know what makes you late? When a different patient earlier in the day just didn't show up until an hour after their appointment and blows up the whole day. And that happens on a daily basis. And the people, when they show up an hour late,
it's called society.
They have an expectation that I'm an hour late, but that means I should just get in and see you immediately, right? Like, and
because their ear is falling off. Yeah.
Like this is our problem. And if we are expecting AI is actually really good at just telling you things that make you feel good. But it's really bad at problem solving a lot of those things.
Well, again, this wasn't problem solving. This was helping with note taking. But anyway, what do you think about 12% raise? I like this. AI safeguards built into the contract. I mean, if anything, just another great publicity headline for unions, right?
We've not talked about unions for a while. I remember actually.
I have another one later.
I went campaigning for Kamala Harris in Pennsylvania, and I talked to a lot of union reps when I was out there campaigning.
Don't tell me they were Trump supporters.
No, a lot of them were on the fence. A lot of them were.
It's because Kamala is a woman. That's why they're on the fence.
Said like their union was afraid, didn't like some of Biden's policies, and they were upset about this or that. And I actually said to them, because we cover this in our shows. One of the
single most pro-union presidents ever.
I said to this because you pulled it in the shows that that there have been more union victories and expansion of unions under Biden than there have been in any prior president, like in the last 30 years. And they were like, yeah, we know, but people are still on the fence. And then Trump gets elected, and now it's like no more union. There's no federal union anymore. He's like trying to kill the federal union. He's like trying to kill all the unions. So yeah, you're right about the union angle.
You know what's funny to me too is that all this talk about pronouns and there all this like we talk about this in the shareholder proposals. The National Legal Policy Center idiots worried about transitioning and pronouns and all this stupid stuff. Is that they don't like Kamala's pronouns. They don't like she her. Yeah. Forget they. They don't like she hers too much.
That is one her too many. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. All right, give me a come on.
I'm going to give this one a 7. It's a 7.
Meta and YouTube. We talked about this case last week. Meta and YouTube are now facing a legal reckoning that harkens back to cases against big tobacco. Now, this is a theory. This is a correlation that we have been making for years. Is to treat all of this shit
like drugs.
Netflix, Meta, YouTube, whatever. They're drug companies. I mean, Starbucks. Yeah. I don't know how they're differentiated from drugs. I don't know why our society has allowed that to happen, but they're clearly drug companies.
What I like about it was the quotes from Zuckerberg during his testimony. And Zuckerberg and the Meta lawyer, Zuckerberg's lawyer, who said something like, like we don't think this is an addiction because it's not an addiction, right? Like it was like
Right.
some. I'm gonna.
The whole thing is horrible. There was a headline I almost included. The judge, a woman, she yelled at some of the people that part of the Meta team because she wanted them to take off their AI glasses. She's going to hold them in contempt. It's like they brought these
the
devices that record people. They could have recorded the jury. I mean, they're just idiots. Oh, she was pissed.
That's horrible. I'm going to give this until something gets one. I'm going to give it a 6. It's nice that they're trying.
Okay, here we go. This is an interesting one. This reminds me of Norway, actually, because this is how Norway treats its citizens well. New Mexico's historic move to give universal child care. This is the first state in the union to do this. Historic move to give universal child care to parents in the state is paid for by an oil and gas windfall.
Okay. So, how am I supposed to feel about that? I like universal child care.
Yes, Mexico, that's kind of the most important outcome here.
But New Mexico has like a lot of sun. It could have been like a solar windfall, but it's an oil and gas.
That would have been better. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with Norway. It's like they make a ton of money off of their oil, and then they preach to the rest of the world how to be like good, left-wing socialists. But, it's kind of awkward because they're getting all their money off of dirty oil. But anyway, I'm going to give it a 6. Out too, of course, this was led by a woman, Lujan Grisham. No, Michelle Grisham. She's the governor of New Mexico.
I like it, but all
right, let's move on. Back to unions. Trump notwithstanding, America's unions actually grew last year.
Oh,
a 16-year high, up to 16.5 million, which is of course pretty low overall.
That's really low.
A big where you saw the biggest increase was unionized labor in the federal sector. Because they do, and I will say another glimmer of hope here is that workers under the age of 45 accounted for a staggering 92% of the growth.
Wow. That actually is that's the most important thing.
That could be good.
No, that's the most important part of that. And the reason why it's the most important is because that's the future leadership of the union. So if you have a cluster of people who believe in collective bargaining and the rights of workers, that's important. I'm just waiting for them to like antitrust union somehow and bust them all or whatever.
Kind of surprising it hasn't happened yet.
I'll say 7.
One more in our actual good game, and then we can kind of speed through the stupid part at the end. Which let's just Walmart. Walmart executive says it's unfortunate that other companies are slashing workforces in the name of AI. Instead, it's offering training to all 1.6 million workers instead of firing them. So this is Donna Morris, Walmart's chief people officer. What do you think about this?
Well, I made fun of Donna Morris in one of our other shows.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember what I made fun of her for. I think she said that you should smile more in order to get like a job or something.
You said
like
that was Michael Fidelki. I don't remember which retailer did that. I think that was Target. No, you're right. I
believe Donna Morris basically said like you should have a positive attitude when you come to work. Otherwise, what's your...
Well, look, what would be more positive than getting free AI training? And to be fair, to give you the details, it's an 8-hour course on the fundamentals of AI as part of its partnership with Google's new AI professional certification.
Is it wrong that my initial instinct, this is what I'm trying to suppress. My initial instinct is if you got 1.6 million Walmart workers onto AI and called it training, but what they were really doing was training the model on what 1.6 million workers do.
So this is for Google. Google's going to really benefit us. So Google's paying Walmart for this, you think?
No, I think Walmart probably owns the rights to whatever gets said in the training.
Interesting.
But what they'll learn.
Yeah, this is the old Matt. This is the old Matt.
What they can learn is exactly how large of a percentage of the 1.6 million people can be replaced by AI after training them to use the AI.
You know, it's probably an accurate assertion, to be honest with you. But I'll give you an alternative. Let me give you a quick alternative here to that theory, which is that, and it's something I've been shouting about for the last few months, is that any CEO who has fired anyone in the name of AI who thinks that and I'm going to say who thinks that he understands the state of AI or his workforce a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, is already firing people in the name of it, should be ashamed. Because if anything, you should at least steal Donna's sentiment here and start training up people and preparing them for the future, right? I mean, just to automatically know like we can let people go and fire them is stupid. It's cruel, honestly.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Did I sway you?
No.
Okay,
it's a
I
5.
didn't sway you. All right. Let's move on let's have a little fun at the end. I picked 6 headlines that are just, I mean, they're good, but they're just stupid.
So I'm
stupid.
rating these on stupidity, 0 to 10.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's start with no particular order. Skin-crawlingly awkward video shows Sam Altman and Dario Omedi refusing to hold hands. Have you seen this story?
No, it sounds fake, though.
So they were at a conference. They're at some meeting. All the tech leaders, they raised their hands and they held hands in some kind of like a bro-y moment of AI unification. And they were standing next to each other and they refused to hold. You can see in the picture that they wouldn't touch each other. They wouldn't hold each other's hands. I just thought it was so stupid. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, it's just so stupid.
I'm going to give this a 6 on the stupid scale.
Now okay. 6 for stupid. Okay. You still want to make sure you're playing the game right. How about this one from Sam Altman? Sam Altman gets defensive about AI's massive electricity usage, saying it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. And his point was that his arbitrary thought about this was that it takes about 20 years to train a human. I guess most people graduate from college at like the age of like 21 or 22. So I guess he's assuming you're dropping out of college, right? But he thinks it takes a full 20-year cycle to train a human. And he actually mentioned that, it takes a lot of food. It takes a lot of resources to train the human. This guy is off his rocker, honestly. I mean, he's completely out of it.
Okay.
How stupid is that one?
So,
yeah.
I don't even know what to make of this.
Right?
First of all, he's implying that the AI is a human.
Well, look, we're not that far from that.
Saying,
I mean,
what I'm doing is raising a person?
Look, I mean, if the Trump way of running America, if the MAGA people take over, then it'll be easier for AI to become a citizen than like someone with brown skin, right?
Yes.
I mean, the answer is yes, unfortunately.
All I know is that
this one?
The calculators that I can see suggest that it takes about 10 million calories for a person to grow for 10 years. It's like a million-ish calories a year, depending, okay? That a basic conversion of kilocalories to kilowatt hours would suggest it takes roughly 120 or so kilowatt hours per year. And I don't know if this is correct, but it basically takes approximately every query that ChatGPT gets takes about 0.3 watt hours, which means 0.02 kilowatt hours, which means they are spending more than 10 years of a human life on you asking them about whether or not the new Spider-Man movie is any good for 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure it actually takes much less energy to power a human. That's some back of the envelope math, but I'm pretty sure that's one of those things that he just said out loud and it sounded really good, and he hopes that no one actually checks that. I'm gonna give this a 9
That's
for
why
stupidity.
it's so stupid.
Because
I mean,
he didn't offer anything except his assertion.
Yes. Uber employees have an AI clone of CEO Dara and use Dara AI before talking to the big boss himself.
This isn't stupid.
What the hell's going on, Uber?
I just hate it. I just hate.
Yeah.
Well, but that's not the scale. I can't.
But
hate
you can
it.
hate something stupid. I mean,
I'm giving this a 2. It's not. It's terrifying.
Okay.
It's terrifying. It's not stupid.
The Pope implores priests to stop writing sermons using ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Notice he didn't say Gemini or
That's a 10.
Claude, right?
I love that. I love that.
I mean, how stupid? I mean, what are we doing?
What do we need priests for? AI can be the religion. Just
I think of all people, priests would be against AI. No, it's not.
I mean, they're supposed to be the conduit between a higher power and humans, right? And if you effectively say that AI can replace that conduit, what are we doing? What's the point? What's the point of being religious at all?
Well, that's a whole. I could.
Anyway,
could talk about that one.
I
for
love
a while.
that.
Yeah,
I love that. That's a 10.
McDonald's. This is so. McDonald's. I hate stuff like this. McDonald's CEO, who we know is it still Chris Kempczinski, right?
Yeah.
Is a super subscriber of AI tools. I already hate the term super subscriber.
What does that
That's in
mean?
quotes. It means he's rich and he can get every subscription.
For $10
HBO.
a month. Whatever.
He's got Cinemax.
He's got Stars.
ESPN Plus, whatever he wants.
He's got BBC. Poured it in.
He makes $25 million a year. So he's a super subscriber of AI tools and even used it to Photoshop all his kids into a Christmas card.
Why not take a picture with your
one?
kids? Were you too busy?
Probably.
This is a 10. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard as a story and as a use of being a super subscriber to anything. I don't like it.
So what's your score?
A 10. It's a 10. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I should have ended with that one. All right, then let's end with this one. Tech CEOs confused by why everybody hates AI so much. I mean,
what a great headline
really?
that is. That's a 10 too. That's a great headline. Good one. They're confused.
Do you believe they're actually confused?
I just like the idea of that headline. Like they're going home at night, they're sitting at the dinner and they're like, "Why is everyone so angry that I'm manufacturing the destruction of humanity and all jobs on the planet? Why is everyone so angry at me?"
These are the same people that are having like major complexes about it. Like, Sam Altman's always like, he's kind of like, I'm a little
these
worried.
are the ultimate. This is like male victimhood, like maxed out. Every bro who's in tech is constantly feels like everyone hates them, and the reason is, you guys, because you do things that people hate and you don't care. Stop doing things that we hate. You have so much ability and so much money. Imagine if you just said, you know what I want to do with all that ability and all this money that I have? Like, you could stop climate change. If all of you focused on that, 1 year, we're probably done.
Look, it's a very simple but very important point, honestly, right? I mean, the amount, and this is why I've been like harping on the VCs recently, but which might be ultimately, when you look back in history, the composers of our death, because they are funneling so much money towards things that we hate, and that become like drugs, just in the name of like scaling things quickly and getting a massive return on their investment. That's it.
Do you want to know what the biggest return on investment is? Fentanyl. It's like, it is literal.
Is that true?
Like the return on investment.
I was going to say broccoli.
The reason why cartels exist is because you can make a shit ton of money on cartels. Now, if cartels could be publicly traded entities, the stock of the cartel would be worth more than all of the Googles that you could come up with, right? Like that's where they get
Yeah,
so much
that's
money. So
true.
when you look at it, you say like, oh, well, it's, but the markup on the prices for a drug, they make so much money on drugs. That's what you guys are doing. You guys are literally investing in the manufacturing of like human destroying fentanyl. That's what you're doing. That's all it is. That's all this shit is. Everything
I
you've
like that
given
we're-
us. YouTube, Instagram, ChatGPT, everything you've given us. Netflix is a distraction, is a drug.
Or worse.
Or worse, an actual addiction. But no, they're all addictions. They're addictions.
No, because I think the AI tools now, especially we're seeing with early returns, is that it's degrading the value of your brain. It's diminishing the function of your brain because you're no longer doing things that
you don't
you're
need to
asking
learn.
ChatGPT to do it.
You're not learning anything. So
I mean, first it was GPS. So you're like, you no longer know how to read a road map. But ChatGPT is like bigger things. It's like analyzing data for you. It's doing everything. Anyway, I like that we're ending the show on fentanyl. We don't talk about fentanyl enough.
I know it doesn't come up a lot.
So you should call your doctor and report the good news because this is actually your highest score since April of 2025 and really tied for your highest score maybe ever. Well, maybe since before the Trump administration. You got a 7.
See, I can be positive.
Remarkable.
I can be positive.
Remarkably high.
That's Hazelnut Rawless. I'm your analyst, Matt Mascardi. That was a good game, right? Like we found some
it
good
wasn't bad. I feel
headlines.
okay now.
We did it. That's all we got for today. We've got shows. Friday? We're doing a double
Proxy
header.
Countdown's coming.
We got a Proxy
Friday
Countdown
show.
coming. We got a Friday show coming, and we're going to be back on track. There's going to be no more blizzards and no more
Oh, that's not true.
I think we actually have a blizzard coming next week, they said. But
Is that right?
Yeah, they're watching something like for next Monday or something.
Your kid's school's already canceled.
Honestly,
because of
it's
it.
nuts. That's all we got, though. Come back later. Oh, there's also a shareholder primacy today. It was.
Oh, that's better. That's more important.
We just launched it today. Mike and Ann talked about that basically
Fentanyl?
proxy advisors lawsuits and regulations and all that stuff.
Okay.
It's good if you're into that. Come back later this week. Until then, good.